Donation and Mining family, what is going on? It is your homie over here, Nemesis. What's going on, everybody? As you're sliding on in here, certainly smash that Lizzy like button, subscribe, hit the bell notification, all that good stuff. Yo, how is everybody doing? We are almost at that Friday. We got that Friday sensation here, guys. Yo. Hopefully everybody is having a wonderful, almost at end of the week sensation. You should be hopefully almost getting off of work, unless you're in California. Then you're still at work right now because it's early in the day for you. So how is everybody doing? Hopefully you're doing amazing. Let's go ahead and just dive into things. I also have a package here. Yo, what's in the box? I know that this thing came all the way from that shiggity China, so I will wait until more awesome people are in the Chizzity chat before I go ahead and open up this cool little gift. I have no idea what it is that Crypto Mikkel sent me. Yo, so my home doge got me a little gift. Yo, that's what's up. So while I'm waiting for people to come on in and smash that Lizzy like button. Oh yeah, Bitcoin still doing good. Yes, we had a little bit of that dump of mentals. Had that FOMO dump, and now we got the pump. So we're gonna. It's like I don't think that we are not gonna be on track here for moving forward with getting to that $30,000 mark, boys and girls. Why? Because FDIC insurance supposedly covers all of depositors now, right? Camera looks crooked. There we go. It's there since they're going to be, insuring all the depositors at all these tech startup banks. They now can. All these banks can do bad banking practices because there's no penalty. It's not like they're going to lose your money, right? We'll see how long that really works now. We got Senator Warren sitting here thinking that we should be insuring up to $10 million per person. Bro, FDIC insurance doesn't even have that kind of money. But it's kind of funny that, well, it does trickle into the stock market with all of this stuff, and I bet you it means that there's a lot of companies that, even Senator Warren is probably invested into heavily that is going to do bad if Silvergate and Silicon Bank cannot insure all the depositors. How many companies has she invested into that is going to be directly liquidated if they don't come in and help? It's like, obviously, $250,000, which is what the FDIC insurance is supposed to cover up to, is not good enough. Not in these inflation times, right? Not in these inflationary times that we live in, right? But it's nice to see that Busy Bitcoin, even though it had its little drop there, 28,000, and it looks like we are still climbing. I like this. We had a nice pullback. So, I mean, when you're sitting there and you're looking at actual, stock charts style on that sweet Busy Bitcoin, let me go ahead and pull that up. I forgot to pull this up before I started. My bad. But here we go. As I was sitting here saying, we could trade sideways here for a hot minute. I'm okay with that. And here we are trading sideways for a little bit now. We got 2 days of indecisive doji candles, right? Or spinning tops. Spinning tops is long wick above and below with a small body. That is a spinning top. A reversal hammer is, you could call it a reversal hammer or a shooting star, where you got a long wick and then a small little body at one end or the other. So some people call them shooting stars or falling star. Other people just call them reversal hammers. But right now we have spinning tops, which long wicks, small bodies, means market indecisiveness. We are printing out the first signal of of sell. Looks like we're going to have we might have rolled over on the momentum. The MA 200 is starting to flatline out. If all the other moving averages on the ribbon start to combine a little bit here, that will either mean that we're going to sit there and we're coiling up for another breakout. Going up or down, have no idea. It'll depend on how the next couple of days really outlook. Still at this point, I think we're still bullish. I don't think the market is quite done making its move. There are other indicators that are sitting here and showing that our market movement does look like we should be able to hold more to the upside. But a small little pullback for a couple of days is not a bad thing. Even if it's a short-lived one where it just kind of bounces and then comes back up. It doesn't mean that we're going to come tumbling back down from here. All it really means at this particular point is that the market is unsure of what's going on with in my opinion, I think it's a lot of the investors are unsure of the way that the stock market is going to be really playing out. Jerome Powell just raised the interest rate up 0.5 point. So now the interest rates for banks to get loans now is at 5%. There are home mortgages that are lower than that. So these banks are basically upside down. All the banks are basically in crisis mode right now. If everybody were to sit there and pull their deposits out of the banks right now, the U.S. economy would tank overnight or go into hyperinflation. Those are the only two options that we'll have playing out with this. So when you guys are like looking at all of this, kind of keep that in mind, that you want to make sure you're, positioning yourselves in a good place. I don't trust the banks. They might not be there tomorrow. And if they all crash out at the same time, us little people, they'll let us starve. We're just a casualty to them. They'll sleep just fine at night. I'm just saying, this is why we Bitcoin. This is why we the Bitcoin. So watching this market just kind of play out the way it is, I'm happy about it. To me, this is a bullish sentiment to sit there and trade out sideways. Let the market kind of relax from the move and then regain its strength. There's still a lot of buy power still left in the market. I'm believing that with the way that Jerome Powell is sitting right now, is that we're waiting for another bank to collapse. That's the way it almost feels like. It feels like the market is going, is there going to be another bank collapse here? Because if there is, that will, on the short term, it'll hurt us, especially in the Bitcoin market. Because if the banks start crashing, that means all the altcoin market dies. Any of them that are based in the United States and are banking. If they're banking with Bitcoin, then they're safe. But if they're banking with the banks, the altcoins are going to take a hit. And we saw what happens when just two of the tech sector banks tank, and how quickly we drew down. Right? Imagine that on a larger scale, and then imagine that the only safe havens we are going to have left, guys, are going to be gold, silver, and Bitcoin. Oh, yeah, and bullets. So, I mean, kind of, I'm not sure what's going to be happening here in the future, guys. I'm not a fortune teller. I don't have a crystal ball. But everything is just kind of lining up for a bad time. Very bad time. And I see a couple of people in here. Certainly smash that Lizardy like button, subscribe, hit the bell notification, all that good stuff, guys. Yo. So I'm still bullish on this. The market's going to trade out sideways. We can sit there, and what was once resistance is going to be our support line. So remember, $25,000. That's our new support line here, right? So we can sit there and look at that moving forward to help out. If we break down from here below that $25,000 neckline, then the way that I'm going to perceive this is that there's something else brewing in the background that just happened for it to go blowing past the $25,000 marker. Right now we're bouncing in a very healthy market trend. So to see where it's sitting at right now, I'm very bullish. I'll continue to be bullish because, what's your plan B? It's like you got gold, silver, and Bitcoin and bullets. What up, Jason the Tiger Osborne? We got him dropping in the FA. I see some people now sliding in. I've been just kind of hanging out here, looking at some charts, waiting for all of you cool cats to come sliding on in. I'm just saying. I know that I got my notification out a little bit late. Just dealing with some company stuff. That's why I keep on pushing stuff back. With business first. Business first. So hopefully everybody's going to smash that Lizzie like button. I'm just saying, smash that like button. If I have to get a lot of likes. I have a package here that I need to open up from Mikkel, and there's got to be a lot of thumbs up likes there. I'm just saying. Otherwise, I can't open this for you guys, and I'll just wait until after I get off the stream if you guys don't want to see it. I mean, he said it was safe to open. So I have no idea what it is, but he said it was safe to open. But he did not confirm if it was Red Panda's Darth Schlong. Man, I hope not. He would let me open it up on screen too, but I do know it came from Chiggity China. Open it. We need likes, dude. You guys got to smash them Lizzie likes. I don't see any Lizzie likes here. I'm gonna refresh my screen here and see if that gives if it starts to show some Lizzie. No, I don't see any Lizzie likes, bro. There are 3 people in there and no likes button. You guys got to smash that like button. Otherwise, I'm just going to keep on going on here. And, we got 1. 1 out of 3. That's still a failing grade. I mean, you guys remember school? 1 out of 3, you fail. Smash that like button. Man, Jason, you got to convince those other people that they need to hit that Lizzie like button. Maybe get some other people in here and get them to hit the like button too. He's like, automatic boots in the house. Yo, we got 2 Lizzie likes now. That's what's up. We got a party up in here because we got them automatic boots. Boots and cats and boots and cats and boots and cats. That's right. Guys, if you want to see that, we gotta have more Lizzie likes. I'm just saying. We gotta have more Lizzie likes. A ton more likes. All right, here. So now we got some people up in here. I guess I'll stop looking at them Chizzity charts. And we'll go start looking at some of this awesome tech stuff here. Yo, check this out. So we got the Acer Bifrost GPU is now the most affordable 16 gigabyte GPU. Yo, check this out. $339 for a 16 gigabyte card. Now, let's be real. It's not going to compete toe-to-toe with NVIDIA. Barely even tries to do that with AMD. But price-wise, does make this a very tasty card, guys. And it's the flagship, dude. The flagship is at a discount. So the A770 is under $400. This is a very affordable card. And their drivers are getting improved all the time. We do know that Roger Kadori did leave Intel, so and everybody was giving him a hard time for having broken drivers and stuff like that. It's like, one person is not the entire team, right? So if you got multiple people sitting there making some of that software, you can't sit there and blame, yeah, we have team leader here. It's like, but it is still a team of people. I'm not going to sit there and blame a singular person over a full department failing. Roger Kadori was making the architecture, the chip architecture for this, not the drivers. He would make some basic drivers to get his prototypes to work. And then the driver department's supposed to come in afterwards and improve it, give it stability, because developer drivers aren't always the most stable. And developer drivers and the developers know this. They're like, oh, I can't have this. And they go back in there, tweak something, and they get it to run a more and more stable. But to get it to where it's a fully polished product, you need a driver department that's going to sit there and keep on testing and testing and testing in all platforms and all situations, clicking on all the buttons and everything to make sure that everything is working as intended. And it doesn't look like the driver department did that. Now, granted, we all know that AMD has had driver issues since Polaris, but everybody wants to blame that on Roger Kadori, who's just the architectural genius behind the graphics cards. So I'm not going to blame him for doing what he does. It's bad that they kind of did what they did to him, but now he's going to go into the whole gaming aspect of this. So with hey guys, so we need to make sure that we're not blaming singular people over a full team of them having issues. So seeing that AMD had the problem, seeing that Intel had the problem, Intel hasn't done a full GPU development since since what, the late 90s. There's the last time that Intel was fully into GPU development, right? After that, it was integrated GPUs, which a couple of cores, a little bit of memory for it, a lot more lightweight, and they never intended people to really just go full bore on integrated processes. It was just enough to get people going and give them a basic computer, but down the road, you would be putting in an integrated graphics card to have the full experience of what you're trying to do, right? I mean, if you can use integrated graphics to watch movies. If that's your thing, is just watching movies, consuming content, then the integrated would do you just fine. But if you were doing anything outside of that, you needed to have something a little bit more powerful. So, I mean, seeing that Intel hasn't had to do full-blown drivers, I'm not even going to blame them for Intel having driver issues from day one launch. They have been making huge improvements during this whole time that people don't want to, recognize, but they still want to dog out on Roger Kadori. It's sad situation for him. I hate to see it happen to somebody like him, but I wish him greener pastures in the gaming development field. I think that he would do perfectly fine in that department. Wish him the best of luck. Yo. And guys, if you want to see this package here, we need some more likes buttons smashed, guys. We need more likes. I'm just saying. I'm not gonna open it unless we got a lot of likes here. All right, here. So then Intel is going to be announcing the new vPro platform with the 13th gen core, Intel Core. Yes, it's a little bit of an Intel day. We got a little Intel news going on, just a little bit, just a little. So Intel's newest vPro platform delivers the most comprehensive security, blistering performance, and modern remote manageability. Ooh. So, fancy words for saying that you can use it for, like, server stuff. Got it. Uh, new security stuff on there. So 70% attack surface reduction versus 4-year-old devices. I hope so. Security should be in the base layer. Best hardware for refresh testing on IT configurations for smooth transitions to Windows 11. So we could see that they're trying to have something that's going to be a little bit more ready for Windows 11. So if you are running Linux, I'm not sure if they've configured this more to run great on Windows 11, or is it just that it's got the Windows 11 capability added to it so that it can actually, you can actually get upgrade into it, right? I'm not sure if that's what they're talking about here, or if this is going to be a CPU that's going to be good for Windows more so than Linux. Hope not. It would suck. New equipment, 2 times better productivity versus a 3-year-old PC, plus 40% versus the competitors. So they're trying to say they're 40% faster than the competitors. So they're trying to say that they just dethroned AMD. Because I would like to see that comparison. I'd like to see where how they're comparing the workloads on this. Because we all know that, you're going to sit there and you're going to fluff your own numbers. So, and then we don't know if AMD's already got a solution to combat this too. So hard to say. Higher core count for more complex workloads. So they got the multi-thread tech going on. High core count. This will be good for, maybe proof of useful work if the price is right on these. So if the price is pretty low, we could sit there and definitely use this for like proof of useful work mining when that finally comes out for Flux. If you guys are going to go down that rabbit hole, 14% lower costs over a 5-year cost of operations per PC. So overall, you're saving anywhere from 10 to 14% power, depending on your workload type. Cost of lost productivity is 22% lower. So downtime to deliver new PCs, 15. I don't know what that is. That's more like marketing rigmarole on that last one. So. They've been sitting there saying that they're committed to all this stuff, but they've been getting slaughtered a little bit by AMD, because AMD has always been focused on that multi-thread core technology from the get-go, where Intel focused really heavily on single core performance. So everything does one job really good, where AMD is like, well, we do kind of everything, and we do it all right. I would like to see it where you get Intel's blazing single core performance spread across multiple cores. Then they'll have my interest. But outside of that, I believe that AMD will have something to answer back with this. They have been talking about bringing back the desktop Threadripper for the works, for enthusiast grades. CPU building for a workstation, which is basically what I have. Mine's a workstation. I have a Threadripper in here. It's not a great gamer. It's not, but man, I could sit there and edit video and it renders it blazing fast. So I mean, you're talking a 30-minute editing video, and I can have it rendered in, I don't know, 5 minutes. If you could sit there and that's where you're buying into some of the stuff. So if you guys are doing like rendering and stuff like that, you buy these newer CPUs. My baseline right now is 5 minutes. Is it worth my time to buy something a little faster? Is it worth $3,000 to be able to cut my time down to maybe a minute? Is it worth $3,000? Now, if I can sit there and justify a $3,000 CPU. In other words, let's say it generates 15% more workload for the week. I can get it. For those type of people, this is going to be a product that they're going to go after. But for somebody in my situation, 5 minutes, I'll go make a sandwich, get a drink, use the bathroom, do a few push-ups, 5 minutes, I can wait. I don't have enough production to justify that for my own PC. It's the reason why I'm not grabbing the 2990 WX Threadripper, which is the top tier 2nd gen Threadripper, because $1,200, I cannot justify spending $1,200. It's not going to improve what I do here enough for $1,200. So, you got, when you're sitting there kind of looking at some of these CPUs, you got to look at what your purpose is for it. And for these type of CPUs, it's going to be, for me, I'd be looking at it on the proof of useful work. If the price was right, once we finally figure out what the specs the minimum specs on the proof of useful work is, then we can sit there and start gauging our equipment out from there. What up, Patrick? What up, my dude? Guys, certainly smash that Lizardy like button. I gotta have a bunch of likes on this video. I have a package here from my home doge, Mikkel. My business partner sent me over a gift. So you guys gotta smash that Lizardy like button if you want to see it. I'm just saying. If you don't want to see it, I understand. It's just a boring white package right now. I'm just saying. See, Jason's like, smash the like button. We need more likes smashed. And if you're not going to smash the like button, bring somebody that will smash the like button then. I'm just saying. And then, guys, there is another NVIDIA driver update for Windows. I know it's boring. It's a game-ready driver. It actually segues a little bit into another topic, guys. And it's funny that they highlight the game, the Diablo 4. So, Diablo 4, they are debuting. And if you guys haven't been paying attention to any of that stuff, Diablo 4 has been seen to have issues, or I wouldn't say having issues. Discovering issues in early production GPUs is what my thought is, right? So in its EVGA, especially on the 3080s, guys, it looks like there's a point in which all of a sudden you get like 1,000 frames per second. Yeah. So it like ramps up on this thing, and the EVGAs, and I'm gonna suspect that they're the early day ones during the height of the lockdowns. So they had the EVGA wanted to still produce GPUs, but maybe their main supplier for resistors, chokes, capacitors, or whatnot, that company was still shut down. So they just outsourced it to a secondary manufacturer and didn't realize it didn't have enough product control on it. And in the right situation, it can be discovered that it might brick your GPU. So careful if you're trying to do Diablo. I believe they're going into open beta here soon. It's closed beta right now, or it's just coming out of closed beta, whatever. But be careful with playing Diablo if you've got an EVGA. And it also looks like some of the Asus line. So not all of them, but some of them. And I'm kind of concerned because I have an early Asus TUF 3080 Ti. Now, this is a LHR card. Does that make a difference? Could mine not have that problem because it is an LHR card? Possibly not. So I didn't see it being an issue with the TIs, but it did look like the Asus TUF 3080. There has been a couple of reports of a bricked one of those. So if you got an early day 3080 class GPU, just kind of be cautious about playing Diablo until they figure out what the reason for the runaway frame rate, because the GPU is supposed to have some kind of limitations on itself to be able to protect itself, and it looks like the high frame rate is just killing it. It's like, forget about sitting there worrying about, oh, can it play Crysis? Can it sit in the lobby of Diablo 4 at 1,000 frames per second? You're asking a lot out of the GPU to try to do that. Now, under normal situations, the GPU would just output its highest frame rate, and it would ignore everything else. That's how they're supposed to react. Now, it looks like some of them, they'll try to display that 1,000 frames per second by any means necessary. So, yeah, be interesting. What up, dude? But since there is a new driver update coming out for the NVIDIA, since I have an 3080 Ti, I went ahead and before I launched the stream here, I updated. Because each update with this 3080 in here, I have just like weird issues here and there. So the first thing I started noticing whenever I put the new driver in, from the last one, that was stopping a lot of my screen flickering. Now I have an issue with anything that is manipulating the direct driver. So like MSI Afterburner now is kind of like a little lazy to respond back. And now I've rebooted my computer and everything, and it works for a little bit, and then I go to mine on it, and I come back to it, and it starts to act goofy again. So it's definitely something with the driver interface especially after I shut down mining. So if you put a load intensive, so if you do a video rendering where it's more graphical rendering, and it ends, you might actually see some of the same issues too. Hopefully it's being addressed with this driver update here. So fixed issues, Adobe application stability issues, Enscaping crash at startup, BeamR issues with the AV1 encoder. That's something totally different. NVAR will crash when using multi-person tracking. I forget exactly what that. I forget how that integrates with some of that. But some of it's like with this is like some of the game stuff that they were having issues with. Known issues: toggling HDR on and off in game causes game stability issues with non-native resolution is used. So if it's upscaling and you turn it on and off, it may not react right. I noticed that through Hogwarts Legacy. If I turned HDR on and then I turned it back off, rendering inside the game would really kind of go to hell and back again. So hopefully that'll be fixed on that one. Monitor may briefly flicker upon waking from sleep if DSR or DLSR is enabled. So if you've got your GPU cranked up all the way and all your max settings on your computer, and it goes into hibernation mode or sleep, and you turn it back on, it might turn on, and then as you're doing something, you'll watch your whole screen just flick. It'll just flash, like go blue screen and back. I get that upon startup. Like when it goes to my password screen, and as it sit there, like for the first, like it goes like maybe 2 seconds, and then you'll watch the whole screen blue and then back. So that's some of what they're talking about, is that little flicker. So if you guys haven't seen that before, cool. You might not have that problem. It doesn't mean that everybody was having that problem, but it was, some people had that problem. I'm one of them. Let's see here. Application GeForce Experience Freestyle filters causing games to crash if you're having that issue. Monitors. Let's see here. And then it's a lot of little game issues. Halo Wars, constant flickering, in Halo Wars 2. So hopefully this will be a lot of what fixes that stuff. And it's going to be for pretty much all the series, going all the way back to the 700 series. Yeah, so 700 series on the desktop. So Maxwell. So if you guys are still running Maxwell, all Maxwell series is being updated on this one. So depending on how far back you guys go with your GPUs, you should be able to do that. Now, if I had my GTX 550 Ti, I believe that still would be covered because it is still Maxwell architecture. So there is that. Now we can go on to like some of the tech news here, guys. We have another free state here. We already knew it was, but it's another one we can add on to here. So Florida did this, and now Texas. Yes, I absolutely love this. Texas Senator Ted Cruz introduces a bill called the Anti-CBDC Bill. So Ted Cruz has joined a myriad of politicians in demonstrating their contempt for the CBDC in America. But what about pro-Bitcoin legislation? Of course, right? That's what we're here for. We want to know if you're anti-CBDC, are you pro-Bitcoin? All right. So the Texas governor, Ted Cruz, has joined a growing group of politicians who have come out in support of the anti-CBDC bill, reintroducing legislation to the Senate that would prohibit a direct-to-consumer Federal Reserve-issued CBDC. So they don't want the Federal Reserve or the government to directly issue central bank digital coins. This is surveillance coin. That's all this is. And all these politicians that are joining this group are all recognizing this is statist move in its glory. This is how you do top-down control. Forget about knowing how, $600 in your account. They're going to be talking about, why'd you pay for 2 cups of coffee today? Your limit's 1. You see how this goes, right? So recently, in the recent weeks, we have seen several U.S. State politicians at the center of these actions. The trend seemingly kicked off by the introduction of the Congressman of Tom Emmer's CBDC Anti-Surveillance State Act, a bill that would prohibit the Federal Reserve from issuing a CBDC directly to anyone. Considering that the Federal Reserve is not a bank to the public, it is a private thing. What up, the Deadwood? Hashtag FJB. That is true tech man. So this would follow by South Dakota's governor Kristi Noem's decision to veto the House Bill of 1193, which would have amended the provisions of the Uniform Commercial Code in the state. The bill adopts a definition of money to specifically exclude cryptocurrencies. But these revisions do not include central bank digital currencies such as money. So if they relabel central digital CBDC as money, then they got to take it, whether they like it or not. And then they're going to be dealing with cryptocurrency, period. So, where's you see the conundrum with South Dakota now. These developments concern me for several reasons. Subsequent to this, Florida Governor Ron DeSantis has held a press conference in which he stood at the podium, Big Brother, Digital Dollar, proclaiming that Florida shall be a CBDC-free state. I love it. In the recent written articles for the Bitcoin Policy Institute titled, "In an attempt to stop CBDCs, the states are rejecting seemingly pro-Bitcoin legislation." It's either it's all good or it's all bad is the way that they're looking at it. If they're going to block crypto, they're going to block the CBDC. Good, bad thing. It's one of those things of they're not stopping people from being involved in the Bitcoin, but they're going to stop them from using it as quote unquote currency. I hope that they sit there, even if they don't make it currency, that they make it to where if people do end up using it as a bank account, to not penalize them for it. There needs to be something in there for the people like myself who use Bitcoin as their bank account, because I trust Bitcoin more than I trust banks. So Noam would actually have been a benefit for Bitcoin, not a negative, in his opinion. But the response to House Bill 1193 did not consider the full respects of the change to the Uniform Commercial Code, and he cautions politicians that they should be careful to not block bills that could potentially benefit Bitcoin. And these are just people, lobbyists for Bitcoin, that are trying to educate a lot of these government officials. There's only so many of them. They can only go so far with some of these people. Other people are just so set in their ways. They're going digital currency, no, in any form, any way, shape, or form, no. And you'll have other ones going, well, if I let this in, then I got to let that in. No. So, I mean, it really just does open the door up. I do see the conundrum that some of these politicians are in long term, guys. So, I mean, I would caution any politician that would ever watch my channel to, kind of look over these bills before just vetoing or signing pro or against, right? And see if they are crushing another industry in the process. So if you're going to sit there and say no cryptocurrencies, you're crushing an up and coming industry. Now, if you want to sit there and say we're crushing the use of it as a monetary policy, I understand their point. And at the same time, I disagree with it, but I understand where they're coming from. That it's something that they have no regulating official has any direct control over, even though they don't want to look at the bigger picture that the regulating entity is we, the people in the world, is the regulating body on this. And that is far better use of resources than letting a centralized government do this. It's just like the old fighting the old way of doing things, fighting the new way of doing things. And that's some of the issues with having politicians that are career politicians. At a certain point in time, you're going to hit a certain age, guys. It's going to happen to every one of us, where our knowledge base of technology will kind of plateau and then start dropping off as the technology keeps going. Our ability to keep on top of technology is, for every single person, no. It's like grandpa's, trying to teach grandpa how to work a computer. Unless it was something that he grew up with, you're going to be really hard pressed on that. My dad, to this day, still does not have a computer. To this day, no laptop, no computer. He's got a smartphone. That's his only exposure. And then when I look at his smartphone, the only thing he uses it on is to Google stuff, Google Maps, to just straight up Google something, or a phone. He uses it for nothing else. It's a very expensive phone for him. So just kind of, realize that there's going to be points in time where our knowledge base for new technology will drop off. And we're dealing with those same very people that their knowledge base is starting to drop off on new technology. that they are going to be passing rulings on that same very technology. What does that mean for the future of like Bitcoin, right? That means we got to wait for these politicians to retire, however long that freaking takes. And we've got to get to a point where we get new politicians in that will be more understanding of the emerging technology that we're all utilizing right now. So it's like, and this is where we got to start trying to vote some of these people in now. The more we can start voting some of these same very people in, the better we are. Like, I don't mind you guys having fun, but live mic. So, I mean, like, we need to start voting in some of these younger politicians. I mean, I know we're very few people, right? We're very few people. But we need to make sure that, we're putting in people. If we want to be pro Bitcoin, we need to sit there and talk to our local politicians and see which one of them are pro Bitcoin and start voting for them. The more we can fast track that aspect, don't worry about it at the federal level. If we can change the policies at our local level, it will transpire into the federal level. But we got to start it off small. Lauren Boebert for the win. Yeah. So, Intel has a puzzle to solve. Yeah, I would sit there and say, it's like get into your local politicians, start talking to them, ask them directly. When they're local politicians, you can talk to them. It's one thing I like about local politicians. You can usually shake their hand and ask them, what's your stance on Bitcoin? If you were anti-Bitcoin, I can't vote for you. Be very upfront about it. It's like, I'm only going to vote for people who are pro-Bitcoin. And we need to put those politicians in place, even if it's at a very, very small local level. Changes always start small. So, yes, I do know Lauren Boebert is pro-Bitcoin. So, vote, We know some of the right people to actually start voting for. And it's the only power we have, guys. A lot of these politicians, these career criminals at the federal level, they started off at the local level, guys. So influence your local level if you want the federal level to change. Influence the change nearest to you. The federal level, you'll never change. That is a toxic swamp. And the only way you can sit there and change that is you got to sit there and put the antidote in at the local level and let it spread. It's the only way. So hopefully we don't see a lot of these politicians blocking Bitcoin altogether. But if they do, it's going to be a knee-jerk response to the CBDC at this point. So we'll have to see how they actually go with this. I know with Florida, they're not going to be doing anything with the cryptocurrency market, and same thing with Texas. I hope everybody starts to look at how they're setting it up and do it that direction. That will be, to me, the better way of doing things. And then, of course, let's go ahead and have a little chuckle here. Coinbase CEO on its Wells noticed SEC is kind of coming down after Coinbase now. So let's see here. As of that time, they received a Wells notice from the SEC focusing on staking and asset listings. Remember, guys, staking is a security. So basically, Coinbase cannot be offering staking to the public, and they cannot be sitting there and listing poop coins. They're going to get in trouble for poop coin listings and staking. And it's going to come down on the rest of the market too. They're going to flush out a lot of these poop coins out of the market. You're going to have very few companies, like one being Swan Bitcoin, because they only offer Bitcoin. That's it. They facilitate you to buy Bitcoin. That's it. There's nothing bad about that. Coinbase is facilitating you to be able to buy into scammy coins and security risks. And then they're going to have staking. Yeah, they're going to get into some major trouble here, in my opinion. We'll have to see how this goes. Brian Armstrong is thinking that he can get a legal team together and just kind of go back to business as usual. I think the waters right now are not the same as it was the last few times he had to stand in front of the SEC or, any kind of government agency. It's not going to be a SEC's pissed. FTX screwed them. They're on a warpath, and they're going to clean the market up for what they can touch. And Coinbase is the United States. They're a U.S. company. They fall under jurisdiction. So, Brian Armstrong, I wish you the best of luck. This might be your day of reckoning, guys. So, I wouldn't be leaving my crypto on exchanges with the CEO. With the SEC being on a warpath. Exchanges are at risk. And if they come after them enough, imagine this. We have failing banks. Imagine that the banks are the only ones in control of the Bitcoin exchanges. And they go, oh, you guys are not good enough to be able to handle the responsibility of crypto, and we're going to go and give this to Silicon Valley Bank and banks like them, because they will be able to do your job much better, and they'll be underneath the regulation of the government 100%. It's a it's a long shot, but it's a possibility that they could do that. It's like, what up, the dude? He's like, oh man, I won't get my random $3 in free Bitcoin from Coinbase now, bro. That is a security in itself, guys. They are exposing people to airdrops. That's a security. Oh my God, yeah. The way that they got the Coinbase Earn program, that is so it's sketchy at best. Not for you, the user, but for the regulation side of it, of how. Now, they're not going to come after you, the user, for this, unless it's, they look at it, the taxable event on it. That's the only thing you're on the hook for. But the way that Coinbase and other exchanges are offering these coins is going to be an issue to them. So, moving forward, I'm curious to see how they're going to be reacting to all of this. And then, just one other thing, just so that everybody gets an amazing laugh. I tell everybody, doom and gloom, you got to end it with a good laugh. Always. White House says Bitcoin has not announced plans to adopt proof of stake in wild economic report, guys. Excuse me, sir. I'd like to talk to the Bitcoin manager. We need to talk about proof of stake. Because proof of stake would push control of Bitcoin into the elite's hands directly. Because proof of stake, for me and you, is a security, and we're not allowed to be involved with it. So if we're not allowed to be involved with proof of stake, then the only people that can are the elites. Again, they're trying to make sure that us plebs cannot sit there and participate in the markets that would benefit us financially. They want to sit there and be the gatekeepers to making a lot of money and being able to dig yourself out of the holes we are all in. It's like, how many of you would like to either buy a house or pay your house off, or both. Buy your first house and pay it off in one shot, right? And we have gatekeepers basically trying to stop this from happening. So the Biden administration released a new economic report that covers Bitcoin and crypto, mentioning the two terms a whopping 305 times in total. The document is catching waves for stating that crypto assets to date do not appear to offer investments with any fundamental value. But that's just a glimpse of what's in the report. The report tracks Ethereum's switch to proof of stake consensus mechanisms, but appears to lack the fundamental understanding of how Bitcoin's consensus is established, referring to the decentralized network as if it was a company with the ability to make official statements. Despite Ethereum's switching to proof of stake, Bitcoin has not announced plans to make a similar change. Why would they? The report to the citizens, the report criticizes Bitcoin's use of energy, but does not compare Bitcoin's energy consumption to the banking industry, which Bitcoin was designed to replace. So if you take the total amount of power that the banking industry is using for all of their data centers, and then compare that to the total utilization of Bitcoin's energy to date, which are they in line with each other, or does Bitcoin actually use less energy than the banking institutions to date? I'm going to pick that Bitcoin does not use as much energy as the banking industry. I'm just saying. Forms and triplicate, please. That's the banking institution. The report cites that Bitcoin's price volatility at an awkward time amid government-introduced banking crisis that has forced many Americans to realize that banks do not hold on to their cash, and deposits above $250,000 are not insured by the FDIC insurance. The report also criticizes Bitcoin's run risk amid collapse of several banks, ironically, warning that crypto assets could trigger a monetary moment, representing the end of a prolonged period of economic prosperity. But despite the criticism, the report also says that the crypto industry is likely here to stay. So they realize that it's not going anywhere. There's too many of us awesome people out there that are in this field that it doesn't matter. You wanna turn off it from the public sphere, it goes underground, it's still here. So good luck on that. The risk presented by crypto assets stem from its excessive speculation. I'll agree with partly on that one. High leverage, yes. Run risk, no. There is no bank run. What, you're trying to say that every single person that holds on to Bitcoin is going to sell? I think not. The market has proved that how many times now? The drawdown gets the drawdown every time that Bitcoin drops is not as low as the previous time. That is showing that we have market strength. The drops aren't as severe as they were back in the day, showing market starting to trying to breathe in a little bit of maturity. It's like having an 8-year-old right now. Okay, we have the equivalent of an 8-year-old child in monetary policy. The report cites Bitcoin's scarcity and maximum supply of 20 million coins, but declares paper money is superior due to the existence of central banks, which print cash with impunity. In other words, that's a fancy little word saying that they've got an infinite money supply. They can infinitely water down the cash in your bank account, devalue it on you before you even had a chance to spend it, and they've already spent your money 4 or 5 times over. That's what they want to be able to control. They want to be able to control the ability to just spend money. Why worry about a debt when you can just print it away? And if you could sit there and you could hide the hyperinflation, oh, you're even better. You might be a Democrat. Just saying. It's like, oh, their comparisons and models were so off. I know, it is. This is just like the cliff notes on this. So I mean, that's how ridiculous this little report is. You know, they're sitting there basically knocking on Bitcoin, going, "Can I speak to the manager?" In today's news, Bitcoin has not answered back. We have knocked on the manager's door and nobody's there. It's like, come on, people. That's like the equivalent of what they're trying to do, guys. You know, they're not going to be able to bully everybody because not all the miners are here. And they're not going to be able to stop the miners that are currently here from continuing to mine. Why? Because they're on the stock exchange. They're a publicly traded company. You'll never see the government inflict damage on the stock market. They're there to keep the stock market going with the Federal Reserve. That's why they answer to 1%ers and not us. They no longer work for us. They work for Wall Street because Wall Street pays their salaries. How do you think they go in making $50,000 a year and come out a multi-millionaire? Just saying. Just saying. So, I see that we got 7 likes so far. Guys, definitely smash that lizard like button. I got a package here. I'm going to go ahead and open this up. You guys have been patient about this. Something that my home doge, Crypto Mikkel, sent me. It came from Chiggity, China. I have no idea what it is. No idea, but it came from China. I can tell that the box feels like it's a little squished. It feels a little flattened over here. So I'm gonna go ahead, open this up, see what's in here. Hopefully nothing is damaged. Oh yeah. So he said, be careful. There might be a receipt in here. So I'm gonna go ahead and open this down here. Well, that was easier than I thought it was gonna be. Oh, that's cool. Oh, Mikkel, you're awesome. Yo, for the Steam Deck. Oh, this is awesome. We got a little box in here. It's taped up. What's in here? All right, so we got stuff and things. So I got little finger cuts. They're small pecker condoms. No, they're like finger condoms. And some tools. Yo, that's what's up. What else is in here? This will make more sense in a second. I want to look at this. Oh, this is awesome. Oh, and he got it in green. Yo! So this is the back for the... Oh, that is so cool. The Steam Deck. Oh my god. This is so cool. So this is the very back side. So with this on there, it'll be somewhat transparent of what you can see inside of this. It's got a little cooling pad on here to add a little bit more cooling support for the core on it. It's got a nice open vented area to allow more fresh air to come into where the fan section is. Oh, that's so cool. Love this. And then there are buttons on the very back of this thing. I haven't had any games that actually utilize the under buttons at all, but this is the under button, so I can pick it at different heights. So depending on the height that I want on this, okay, how does this go on? Oh, okay, I see. So as you can see here, it's just like a little button that comes right through the little hole on this, right? So that is, I'm not even sure what the heights on our differences on this. Okay, R4. This is R4. Where's R4 at? R4. Here we go. So this is R4. And yeah, see how the buttons like Cammy, no, not right now. So the button height is getting a lot higher and it's softer. So it feels a lot like it. Oh wow! So it gives you that like a little spongier feeling to it, because it's like it's got more flex to it, but the button starts higher. Oh, this is so cool. And this one is L4. Where's L4 on here? L4. Here we go. And then with L4 on here, this is like a little firmer, but it feels weird. It's like a super spring on there. Like I'm wondering if there's like a little bit more resistance. Yeah, I would have like a lot of flex. So it like the button heights will soften up the trigger a little bit. And or you can just sit there and go, I like standard. I don't need anything fancy on this. You know, and then you can get your standard low profile button set up on here, just like this. And then you got your standard buttons on there. It clicks as normal. You get a nice crisp feel off of this right off the bat. I mean, it's like instantaneous response on there. So if you like to curl your fingers up underneath this, this will be nice. But if you want to, you could sit there and change the stiffness of the buttons and the height of where you're grabbing onto. So might be some options. I'm kind of excited to be able to play around with it. I had no idea that Mikkel was doing this. None whatsoever. That is awesome that he did this. Thank you so much, Mikkel. It comes with its own screws and everything in here. Screwdriver. Cammy, I love you and everything. Thank you. So we'll be doing a video on this, guys. Yo. I'm so super excited to be able to do this. Thank you, Mikkel. You rock. You absolutely rock. He's like, on the conspiracy model. So yeah. When are you putting a radiator onto your Steam Deck? You know, like how Linus Tech Tips did it. I'm not sure if I'm down on doing that. Yeah. That was just ridiculous of what he did. I mean, ridiculous in a cool way, right? Ridiculous in a cool way. I will say that. Oop, let's see here. You don't like to be on in that direction. Right, so in here like that. Oh, there we go. So transparent background, back cover, and custom buttons, all for the Steam Deck. I'll be doing a video on this at some point. What are you doing down here, cat? So, yo, that is so awesome. Yeah. I mean, it's not gonna like give me like this breakneck new speed on there, but it might make the fan not spool up as high, and it won't be exhausting as much hot air. That's the only thing I could sit there and think that it might be able to do. Outside of that, it's just a cool little functional upgrade that's cool looking. That's about all it is. Did they say how he got hacked? I don't think so. Well, I didn't watch that episode all the way, so I'm not sure. I'll put it that way. I know he talked about it, but I did not watch it all the way. Yeah, I just didn't. It was on my it's on my to-do list though. It is on the to-do list. So does anybody got any other comments or questions before I head up out of here? And if you don't have any other comments or questions, certainly drop an FA in the Chizzity chat, guys, because you guys are rated F for freaking awesome. Yeah. Oh. All right, since nobody else has any other comments or questions before I head up out of here. Now, guys, remember, as I'm ending this, if you could, whenever the ending stuff comes up and everything, try to click off on another video. Don't just exit out of this video. It's just helping me run an experiment. That's all I'm doing. So if you guys can click onto another video that YouTube suggests and then exit off of that video instead of this one, just for the experiment. I'm going to try to run this experiment if you guys do it with me for like a couple of weeks and see if it makes any noticeable difference in the metrics that I have on that you guys don't get to see. So I'm just sitting there seeing if I could play with YouTube's algorithm a little bit here. If you guys could just humor me on that one, that'd be amazing. You guys all rock. If you guys are looking to have your gear hosted at the Family Mine, certainly get into the Patreon links down below. Get into the Pseudo Hasher tier. This way you can get into that VIP section that you can guarantee that you're going to have space on our shelves. Yo, that's right. And if not, you're not going to go down into Patreon. At least go down into the description down below and join the Discord. Love to have all of you guys be a part of the Discord. It is free to join. And we got a lot of awesome people. A lot of the people you see here with the wrenches, these awesome people, and a bunch of others you will see at the Family Mine Discord, where I'd love to have all of you people there. So with that being said, like, subscribe, hit the bell notification. Peace out, stay savage, and of course, I'll see you on the next one.